and I'm just going to give you the tour of the course interface. First of all, you will be starting off in the My Blackboard area where you will find your courses listed. And there's my Art 1029 course. There's Introduction to Digital Media Storytelling. So find the course that you're interested in. Note that there are announcements listed under each course. Make sure you stay on top of those announcements and read them all. And then you click there to go inside the course. And this nav bar, this navigation bar on the left-hand side, is very important for you. I'm just going to switch to a student view so it looks very much like yours would. First off, there's the name of the course. This is Art 1029. This is instructor info that you can see here. It's my office number, my telephone number, email, and so on. Announcements. This is exceedingly important. This is how I communicate to the class, and you should check this several times a week, not just for my course, but for all your courses. And it goes back in time. So go back to a point where you've missed. If you haven't seen any of the announcements, then you need to go right back to the beginning and make sure you get caught up on those announcements. This is important information that helps give you guidance on how to engage with the course. Course Q&A. I have students often email me at my college email. However, this is the portal. You can see here, students are all asking questions. Sometimes students have the same questions. And so it's important that you engage here and ask the questions, because if you're asking it, chances are 20–30% of the rest of the class are having the same question. So this becomes like our FAQ, our frequently asked questions. Make sure that you frame your questions with a question. Like, how do I download Photoshop and Illustrator? I know, and so do other browsers, know what the essence of the question is. Just saying bowl doesn't tell me much. So make sure in your subject line you ask a question so that we can, or you summarize a question so that when myself or anyone else comes in, they can quickly scan to see if they have a similar question. So that is course Q&A. Don't email questions, post them here in the class Q&A. Online classes. This is how you access your online classes. It's called Blackboard Ultra. This is a course room, so when I have after hours scheduled office time, you will come here. You can see the little icon of the office door. All other sections are broken into sessions. Those are repeating classes that happen on a weekly basis. And you'll notice if I open up the Wednesday link right here, it's a folder, and it opens up all the various sessions that are playing. You simply would click on that, and there would be a join button for you. Like it's just saying here that this class is not yet in session, so you can't join. But that's pretty much what you would do. You click on it, and then click the join button. And there's, excuse me, there's more video on how you use Blackboard Collaborate Ultra. The important thing to keep in mind, this is my office, these are your class sessions, so find the section that you're in and make sure that you attend all of those classes. Be there on time and be there for at least 70% of the time. If you're 5 minutes late, you're marked absent. Sorry, you're marked late. If you're 20 minutes late, you're marked absent. And if you spend less than 70% of your time in the online course, it also marks you as not present. Another important thing here is this bar at the top. gives you access to the various sessions, but also any recordings. And I record all of my live sessions, so you'll be able to go back and review what was talked about, or if you've missed a day for whatever reason, you'll be able to pick up on missed information. Activity units is the crux of what we're doing through the year. Everything's organized into units. This unit number more or less corresponds on a week-by-week basis. So Unit 1 would be done on week 1, Unit 2 on week 2, and so on. So it's very important to get through everything that's in that unit. So if we click here on the link, it takes us inside that unit. And you can see that there's a course outline quiz. And so you can take a look at the course outline here, read it through, and then do the quiz. You can do this as many times as it takes to get to 100%. You have to get at least an 80% on this in order to continue. So make sure you do that early, and like I said, you can have multiple attempts at that. Most other quizzes give you 2 attempts. So there's resources in here as well, videos on how to access and use Blackboard Collaborate Ultra. And so that would show you there. For us, we would access it through here on online classes, or you could also access it here through tools. And you would find Blackboard Collaborate Ultra in here somewhere. There it is right there. And you would click on that, and it would take you into the same interface that we saw when we clicked here. So this is where you go for your online classes, and make sure you're there on time. Back to activity units. And so in week 1, you work your way through everything. I would strongly suggest getting a jump on this course outline quiz so you know exactly what the rules are for the course, what the expectations are around assignment submission, how they're graded, what a late submission is, and what a 0 submission is. Very important information if you want to do well. There's also these things called self and peer assessments, SPAs. In this very first SPA, you are capturing a headshot of yourself. You'll need to download your Adobe Photoshop software, and there's also a video tutorial on that under Resources. And you're cropping it as a square, and then you're posting it up inside Blackboard so that it becomes your avatar in Blackboard. And it's got a series of screen grabs that shows you how to do that. And eventually we're going to evaluate it, and you would click here for a little video on how to do that. Again, screen grabs showing you how to submit things. And there's 3 parts. You know, there's doing your research, then doing the assignment, and then uploading it into Blackboard. And these screen grabs are showing you how to do that. And then part 3 happens always the following week. The evaluation component is not done until the next week. So when we're in Unit 2, part of the activities in Unit 2 is doing this evaluation of work that we did in week 1. There's a video here on performing evaluations, and there's another video here on checking the class roster to make sure that you and your peers actually posted your headshots as an avatar image in the learning management system. These dates are crucial, and you need to make note of them, put them in your calendars, create reminders for them. You'll notice that it's a range of dates. It's this last date on the submission dates that's most critical. That means the assignment needs to be in by the 11th of September 2020 at midnight. Now your dates might be different than this, but the point is this is a hard and fast date. If you don't get the work into Blackboard on this date or prior to this date, it closes and you're no longer able to submit. In that case, it's marked late. You have to send me an email with the name of the SPA in the subject line, and I will grade that activity for you. You'll notice following the submission date, there's a range of evaluation dates. And again, the final evaluation date is extremely critical. You have to do your evaluation prior to this date, otherwise you won't get a grade for that activity. So two very important dates to make note of. You would go into that assignment and then, this is me, I'm in evaluation mode right now, and I would go through and evaluate my submission and the submissions of 2 of my peers. And we do this on a weekly basis. Back now to activity units, and that's a SPA. There's also these interactive video tutorials, and they need to be watched uninterrupted from start to finish. And towards the end, there's a quiz. You can do the quiz. You can even try it a second time. And once you finish the quiz, let the video play all the way to the end until the closing loop, and you should be okay. If you're on a Safari browser, I've got screen grabs here showing you how to disable pop-ups. Not disable, how to enable pop-ups, and how to block or switch off pop-up blockers. That's very important. If you have a pop-up blocker, the video and quiz elements are pop-ups. And if you've got blockers or ad blockers switched on in your browser, it will not serve up the quiz to you. In Chrome, this is what I would suggest using. It's very simple. It just pops this up in your URL bar in the far right, and you just click on it, and then select here, always allow pop-ups from GBC Blackboard. And then you would click Done, and that would enable you to receive the quiz. So you need to go through this interactive quiz as well. And there's some additional resources in here. And finally, there are homework videos. Now, the homework videos, some are done by me, some are referenced from LinkedIn Learning, which was formerly known as lynda.com. And if you go into this area here, additional resources, you will notice that there is a link right there for LinkedIn Learning. And you'll be able to go there and you log in using your student number, then at georgebrown.ca, as if it were an email, and you would put your password in. And so that is getting to LinkedIn Learning. Most of these videos that we're looking at here are YouTube videos that I've put up for you. You need to get through the homework videos because they will prep you for the following week. And that's a week at a glance. And this pattern that you see, starting with a quiz, then having a an interactive video module, having a SPA assignment to do, where you have to get it in by a certain date, and then you have to evaluate your own submission and those of 2 of your peers the following week. And that's pretty much the flow of the course. So back over to the navigation bar, and I wanted to show you again, there's a groups area. And I'll be putting you into groups with other students, and you'll be able to run your own collaborate sessions. That allows you to do video conferencing. You can do file exchanges. You can create a group discussion board. There are no group projects. However, it's always good to have a support group, and I try to create balanced groups. You'll notice that there's a link here called Class Picture. And if we go in here, this is called a Padlet, and I want you to just put your name and your class and when you're scheduled for your main lab, and what computer experience you have, and your precious. You know, is it your dog? Is it a hobby that you have? Is it a show that you watch religiously? And so on. And then we organize our information cards. Each of you will create one of these things just by clicking on this little red dot right here to add content. You will create them. You will also add a picture to it. And I will organize you into teams. And this is just kind of everybody's information right here. And back to Blackboard. So there's a resource for LinkedIn Learning. Fridge Door is where we're going to post work. Again, it's another Padlet, so when we have work, we'll put it up there. You should be proud of showing off your work. And this is access to your Microsoft services. You have access to all the Microsoft software as part of your registration package. This is a link to the Behance creative social media platform. And this is a great place to showcase your work to other creatives and to follow other creatives, see what they're out there doing in the world. Here's a link on online etiquette. I'd like you to take a look at that and just make sure you know what the rules of the road are when you're online. And here's some online learning tips and a link to Blackboard help should you be stuck on something. Here's one that all the students like, and that's My Grades. And you would click there and you would see the name of the quiz or the name of the assignment, and it gives you a brief description on that assignment, and you'll see your grade there. And where comments are given, you would also see those there as well. And that's it in a nutshell. You can see down here under My Groups, you can see the groups that I belong to down here as well. And that is the course interface. And if you have any questions from this point forward, you can post them here in the course Q&A.